say that these areas that we're watching here, again, Unica, Ogrita is a little south of that cell, Grandview. And when we go back to radar, we have some very heavy rain with that. That's continuing to show up and continuing to move to the east at this point. It really was showing me earlier that it was moving to the east and maybe just a little southeast. But when I was, let's see what again, I wanted to read you the bulletin on this. So I'll get that back up here. And the severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect is now come off the board. But that was kind of replaced by the severe thunderstorm, from the severe thunderstorm warning to the tornado warning. So we have really two different things there that was going on. Now we just have the one that we're really paying most attention to. So I'm going to read this bulletin to you. Again, it's until 9:15. And let's see here. If I read this to you, the National Weather Service in Morristown issued a tornado warning for northwest Cherokee County in southwestern North Carolina until 9:15 Eastern Time. So that's a little less than 30 minutes from now. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 12 miles south. Was located 12 miles northeast of Ducktown, moving east at 20 miles per hour. So they are clocking that moving east. Let me put that into motion here where you can watch that cell. I'm also going to slow this down some so we can have a little better look at it. So it's just kind of dropped into this area. It was moving northeast of it, or northwest of it, and then suddenly it just kind of developed more south as you watch that cell drop into western North Carolina. And it is just a little north of Murphy at this point. The warning is actually just outside the city of Murphy, but it is solidly within parts of northwestern Cherokee County at this point. Now this warning could change a little bit in its configuration, but if we get in closer here, we'll pick up a few towns where it is now. And now east of Unica, Grandview, you will want to be in a safe place at this point, because that center of that cell looks like it could be crossing your path here in the next few minutes. This is not a confirmed, actually, as that anybody has reported a tornado on the ground, but we do have the radar indication of that. And so that's always something that, you have to kind of take into account in these things. But certainly the radar technology is such that, we want you to be in the right places here as far as that's concerned. So here's the velocity scan again. It's kind of all one color, meaning that there's not really, I would say, too much of a sign of rotation with that particular storm. It's a little bit different than it was even just a few minutes ago. Could indicate that any rotation that was going on may have abated, but I don't want you to let your guard down on this storm because the warning is officially still in effect. And we're back into now the radar. Not too much lightning with this as far as the lightning strikes are concerned. I don't see too many there. I'll back off of this a little bit so you can get a better idea of what we're talking about here. And again, Murphy kind of in the, to this, just enough, just barely south of this cell, but it has been, I think, dropping a little bit southeast as well as east. And let me put it back into motion here. Let's watch that. There's a latest update there. And it continues to be north of Murphy. And let's see now where some of our cities are. So here's some roads for configuration for those of you in that area. Davis Creek Road, Tellico Cabins, might be, Trail, Tellico Cabins Trail. Running Deer Lane is another street that's kind of nearby. So again, Davis Creek Road. And so these are some of the roads that this cell is coming across right now. It's a really just kind of a lone one, it's there are no other, let me check around here, but there aren't any other warnings. But we do have, let me just mention that we still have some showers and storms that have been redeveloping here just recently across the plateau. The watch for Tennessee counties has actually been extended until 10 o'clock, mainly because of the concern of these showers and thunderstorms that are now redeveloping along the plateau and crossing the plateau and into northern Bledsoe and into Ray County. No tornado warnings there, no severe thunderstorm warnings there. But we certainly do have this one storm that has created the tornado warning. We'll stick with this until the expiration, which is at 15 minutes after, or until they perhaps lift that, which is always a possibility. But at this point, just watching how it's the way that it's it's holding together pretty well here, it seems. So I wouldn't expect to see that dropped, at least not anytime in the next few minutes. So a little north of Grandview is one of our cities that we can tell you. There's a Maltby that's going to be real close here in the next 15 minutes or so. I would say to be in your safe place in both those areas, even though the center of the storm is a little more north of there. And of course, then the cities get a little bit fewer and far between. And just the latest on the velocity. Definitely some change in the way that the wind is coming to and going away from the storm system or the cell. So, it's changing a little bit. So certainly it is one of those things that continues to have the potential to create a tornado. And that is, and as is the case in these situations, you're going to have opportunities to find yourself with hail and that kind of thing. Now, and the rotation here, not rotation, but in our reflectivity, and this is not the velocity scale any longer, but the actual rainfall. When you start to see, I'll just point this out to you. When you start to see this purple area here, normally that is a hail situation and something that can indicate where one of the big risks would be for any tornado activity. And let's see if we just take this out for a moment. I was looking to see about hail development or hail anything there, but I don't see that it is plotting anything at this point. I'm still looking here. Let's see if this helps us. Yeah, there's the trail, the hail trail, so to speak. And if we get closer in, we'll see that it was right along where we saw that reflectivity, where that real heavy, dense reflectivity was, that we have this trail of the hailstones that are coming across western North Carolina in Cherokee County. So that is actually kind of a time lapse of it, but this is right now the most current, and it's right over Grandview where you're probably seeing some hail from that. Let me, I'm going to look real quick here at if there's any reports of that. I didn't see any reports earlier just yet, but and I still don't. But populous areas are not as plentiful in some of these areas. But there's Grandview. Now we're going to put back up the rainfall so you can see that, of course. We don't want to go too far away from that. And again, the very intense part of the storm is continuing now to move to the northeast. Grandview, you have seen it pass by, and so you are clear of the worst of that storm. And now a little north of Maltby, but not in Maltby, is where that hail is occurring, I'm sure, and also the strongest winds and the possibility of that tornado in this area that you see almost, let's just put it right in the middle of the screen. I realize that, for a lot of us, this is a very small part of our viewing area, very isolated part, but just as important to keep these folks safe. Those of you are very loyal viewers in Western North Carolina, and we would not want to continue to track this for you, obviously. So here is the storm center and some of the towns that surround it. If we get in a little closer, let's just see what we can come up with here. So here's some of the roads again. Dinkin Cove Road. We have, let's see here, that looks like Owl Creek Road, Bowling Springs Road. Let's see what else. Go back, Dinkin Cove Road, right in the middle of that. That is very intense, and even a lightning strike there. Not a lot of lightning, but that doesn't mean that you don't have the potential for rotation. That's just kind of a totally separate thing, although sometimes the concentration of lightning strikes will help us determine where the strongest storms are. So that continues to move really here. Let me show you the latest as far as we have an east-northeast direction with this cell as it continues. And I'm going to back off of this just a little bit. And I am going to slow this down. And there she comes. It has actually shown a little sign of some weakness, but not by much. Let me show you where, again, some of this, I'm going to take out some of these things here. There's the hail again. That's just east of Grandview. And so again, Grandview, you have seen the worst of the storm, and I'm hopeful everything is okay for you, because that was a pretty good blow, it looked like, as far as the severity of that storm. Now, as far as the hail pattern is concerned, it's not going to be too much difference in some of the roads we were just talking about. Dinkins Creek Road is in the middle of this, as is Dinkins Cove Road. Now, this may be lagging a little farther behind on data, maybe just by a few minutes. And we'll go back to how the reflectivity is continuing to move this storm. Let's just see where. I'm kind of looking to see. Sometimes it's kind of hard for me to find it's still in Cherokee County, and probably going to run real close to Clay, right on the borderline, right on the border there. It's not quite there yet, but the data will run just a few minutes behind, perhaps at times. So we're kind of just waiting here for the next update. And Murphy, it looks like you're clear. Looks like you're clear from that particular storm. It moved to your north. You may have heard it. You may have caught a little rain from it. And let's just see, it looks like you just missed seeing the bulk of the rain from that. Valleytown, for instance, you also need to be in a safe place at this point, because we are seeing that cell and I'm bearing down on you at this point. And then farther north. Now, as far as the rest of the area, let's just make sure we're not missing anything here. We have showers and storms, of course, still going on that have redeveloped. And that's one reason why they extended the watch. Now, we only got about 10 minutes left on this warning, this tornado warning, and we'll get you back to programming. And I'm looking to see if they may have lifted the warning. I'm kind of, hold on a second, I got to put those back up. And we'll see. So still got the tornado warning in effect, although what has happened is they're just kind of holding on. They haven't trimmed it down. I thought they would have by now for the western part of that warning. It's just about outside the box right now. Don't worry about that. That's just a personal alarm. Just to remind me to do certain things that I have to do, certain tasks. So we continue to watch this go on through western North Carolina, pretty close to getting out of Cherokee County, but still got a little time to go here. If we look again, kind of an overview here, they're not the only folks that are getting rain at this point. We have more showers and a few thunderstorms continuing along the plateau, and then even over the plateau into Meigs County, Bledsoe, Bradley, and even some North Georgia counties with some lighter rain. But no warnings have been issued for those yet. And, the ones in Tennessee, they definitely have some punch to them. And so we'll need to be watchful of that as we go through the evening. So we're less than 10 minutes away from the expiration of the tornado warning. looking to see, it looks like they've issued, pretty sure they've issued, let me look here real quick, a severe thunderstorm warning, perhaps? Let me double check on that because I don't want to miss. Yeah, severe thunderstorm warning. Tornadoes possible with that, always. So that is a little difficult to see. Let me take the reflectivity off for a second. You can kind of see where that is. So this is what we have. We have 2 warnings out. One being a tornado warning still for Cherokee County. Northwest Cherokee County is what it was issued for. And then we have an extension from there of a severe thunderstorm warning. And so what that's kind of telling me is that the possibility of severe weather becoming a tornado warning extended would be not expected. But, you know, that's not for me to decide. Yeah, I just got a message from one of our very loyal ex-participants and said that in Murphy, it hadn't even rained. And that's kind of what we were seeing there, that it was just moving north. And that's from Paula. And let me just make sure I'm not seeing anything, that I'm not seeing something that I should. The lightning has picked up a little bit. With that particular storm. Hold on just a moment here. So here's how the rainfall is at this point. And it does continue to show. It is difficult, I understand, to see these polygons. Sometimes they merge into the colors. The red box, the red polygon, the red one, is the tornado warning. Now that's the severe thunderstorm warning. So it covers up also the tornado warning. Let's see if it says anything about, I was wondering if perhaps they had dropped the tornado warning and replaced it with the severe thunderstorm warning. At 9:01, now this is a few minutes ago, severe thunderstorm was located 7 miles west of Andrews, moving east at 25. And they also indicated that hail damage to vehicles can be expected with that's what we were talking about earlier in that purple color was, and we were looking at even the hail returns, that it did contain that. So let me clear that off the screen. But from what I can tell, it doesn't look like that they've dropped the tornado warning yet. It's still up there. It expires in 4 minutes. I would think that at this point it would carry on as a severe thunderstorm warning, but I want to wait until that expiration. It's a little easier to see here, and I'll point it out to you what I'm talking about. Here's the red polygon. I'm going to say box, but it's a polygon. And of course, well back to the west where it began has cleared. But there's still within that red box this cell here that is moving through, and then we'll continue into the severe thunderstorm warn area after that, like where Valley Town is. We were talking about earlier. You still got a little time before that cell gets there, but I'm talking about, maybe less than 20 minutes. So we just are holding on here for a few more minutes and seeing what happens as far as that warning is concerned. I'm just going to leave this up here for right now. And also what I'm going to do is we'll get in a little closer and we're going to change our radar look a little bit. Right in the middle there is some of the heavier reflectivity, and also the, let me just check something here. I'm going to take this off. I'm just changing things around a little bit. I just want you to get the best view you can here. When it was in this position here, at this point, and this was a few minutes ago, it was approaching Colville, and let's see what else we got here. Almond Creek Road, perhaps that is, and also, Almond Creek Road, and that road runs kind of right through the middle of that, and that is probably a little east of there now. Remember, a severe thunderstorm warning doesn't mean that there can't be a tornado. We can very easily consider severe thunderstorm warnings sometimes as close to a tornado warning as you can get. This is a very intense storm. Andrews is kind of in the pathway, though interestingly enough, I don't see Andrews on the board here. It's not showing up for us right now. Nantahala is a little bit east, and it's just about ready to exit that tornado warned area. And in just a couple minutes here, right now it's 13:44, 13 minutes and 47 seconds past 9 o'clock, and at 15 after, that warning will be over. And then I'm just holding on to see if they extend that at all, or if they're just going to keep that as a severe thunderstorm warning. So while we're waiting on that, we want to continue to advise you that we're not done with showers and storms elsewhere. These are not generating any warnings yet, but it has been one of those afternoons and nights where it weakens and strengthens and redevelops. And so we don't want, Andrews, you're going to be seeing this particular hail area and the strongest part of that storm coming into your area very shortly. And again, if we put this back into motion, you can see how the showers and storms continue to develop, especially along the plateau. They're very strong, or at least strong. So now we're getting close to the time, and it looks like at this point the tornado warning has been lifted, or has been allowed to expire, and I don't see anything else that has replaced it. Well, something has replaced it, and that is severe thunderstorm warning. And I'll read this to you, and then we're going to go back to programming. And this was in effect until 9:30. That a severe thunderstorm, this was at just after the hour, so it's got a little distance on it as far as time is concerned, but about 15 minutes ago, that was when the severe thunderstorm was located 7 miles west of Andrews, but it's just about to Andrews now. So that's the latest on the tornado warning for Cherokee County. Thank you for being patient with us, and I know not, all of us that have been watching are in that particular area of the world, but we have to keep updated for all of our counties that we cover. And so thank you for your patience on that. And we will go back to regular programming at this time.